This week, I reveal my plans for St Lucia and revisit the sticker man's house. With companies going into administration, I need to do some serious number crunching. Last week, we had a problem with fuel, and this week it's a problem with cement. I'm Daniel, I'm tired, and this is Ashville Weekly, episode 76. There could be a hole right in front of you that's going to drive into the pile, and we have to try and use every single inch we have. But obviously I can handle it. This is all hands on deck.
And they don't like any of it, and we have to pull it out.
Just play around a little bit. Nah, long. Put it in your tracksuit so if it pulls your trousers down. I haven't eaten, so I'm going to eat with Andrew. Those little plastic balls. Stop doing that.
I think this is quite straightforward.
Perfect! It's Monday, and I'm in a 40-yard bin, which is in the yard. So technically, it's Monday, and I'm in the yard. We got a few more bits to do on this bin to make it nice and strong before we can put it back out on the road. Let's get it done. The Ashville merch store is now live again and doing very well. Thank you to all of you who are purchasing a small piece of Ashville. But once again, the bootleggers have got involved. Let's have a look over here at some of these bootleg stuff here. Now guys, if you have a read on This is Ashville, or you have a look at the FAQs, you'll see that a lot of these people, you'll go and try to buy it and you'll never actually get it. They are scams. They pop up, they disappear, they pop up, they disappear. That is not Ashville. The only place you can buy any Ashville merch is from thisisashville.com, and I feel very sorry for you if you've done any of this. Unfortunately, it does happen. People try to bootleg, and I feel very annoyed by it because I was one of those people that never tried to bootleg people's CDs back in the day and make them tapes. I never tried to do that. You know when you try and make your own mixtape, like now, 23. I never tried to make Daniel, 22, and take everyone's songs and try to mix it on a tape. I never did that. I always bought the authentic CDs. Also today, Southern Vulcanizing in the yard. They still have a few bits to do to get it ready. Let's see how they're getting on. I've got a few bits to do in the yard. I'm going to have a meeting with operations and transport. There's a few bits that we need to discuss, and then I'm heading off to the sticker man's house. While I'm heading off, I'm going to let the train continue to offload, which I didn't mention yet. You thought I'd mention it first, but I didn't. I mentioned it last. So let's see how the train gets offloaded, and I'm going to make my way to the sticker man's house. Seeing the cutting edge on the L860 working reminded me of one thing. The sharp blade on the Lawnmower 4.0, but this one has skin-safe technology to help reduce nicks and cuts, LED lights, and it's waterproof. People, you have to take personal grooming seriously. So let's have a look in the rest of this performance package. Over here we have the Weed Whacker. This has 360-degree rotary blades and the same skin-safe technology as the trimmer. This is for your nose and ears and dramatically reduces tears and tugs. Also within this package is the Shears 2.0 luxury stainless steel nail kit. You also get these crop deodorants, because who doesn't like a good scent? Nice. Spring is here, people, so it's time to step up your personal grooming so you can be ready for the summer. For a limited time, you'll get 2 free gifts, the Shed Travel Bag and the Manscaped Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs. Get 20% off, free international shipping, and the 2 free gifts with the promo code Ashville20, link in description. So since my little trip away, which was in episode 73, click here to watch that video, I've been thinking to myself, now, for a long while now, I have had some land in St Lucia, the motherland. Now, it's not a very big site, but I tried to do my best with the plot that I've got. Let's have a look on screen now at some of my plans. So this may look like a hotel, but it's not. And also, it's not a block of flats. It's not a high rise. It's somewhere where I was thinking of having serviced apartments. But as time's gone by, I'm far too busy with what's going on here. I got planning permission, but planning permission elapsed. Like, it would be easy enough for me to go and get planning permission again, you know, because it's just, they just look at it again and they'd reissue it. But the longer that's gone by and the more I think about it, even though I put everything into this design, I spent years doing it, I've done all the structures, I've paid for all the M&E drawings, I'm ready to go. I don't think I want the headache. And I'm thinking to myself, after being on holiday, maybe I just want to build a single dwelling for myself. A relatively large one, yes, but I'm thinking maybe I want to build a house in St Lucia. But then I started looking at the plot. Now, if you have a look at it again, you'll see that on the top level of the main building, there's an apartment. Now, that apartment was my apartment, what I was going to keep. So I was going to build everything out and keep that for myself. Now, it's got a great view because of how high it is. This development is nothing like what's on the island at the moment. Everything is very colonial and mine looks very modern. However, if I build a single dwelling, I'm not going to have the same view that I would have with an apartment which is on the top floor. And I do actually want to see the sea. The whole point of me being there is that I want to see the sea because I'm a tropical people. So I'm thinking that it might be time to part ways with the plot of land that I've got and possibly search for another plot of land which is going to be on the coast. So let's have a look on Google Earth where my plot is in relation to the sea. That area is very sought after. It's just before Cap Estate. Some people call it poor man's Cap Estate, but it's not poor man's Cap Estate, it's Bellevue Cap. And I'm thinking of somewhere down the coast. Now, in years gone by, I wanted to be in the mix. I wanted to be near Rodney Bay. I wanted to be where the life of the party is, and I wanted to be around. I wanted to just jump in the car for 5 minutes and, you know, be in the central area. Nah, long. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to relax, and I want it to be quiet. As time's gone by, and I've got older, things have changed. So, giving some serious thought to it, and I've made some phone calls. So I'm investigating the possibilities of what I may do in St Lucia. What do you think I should do? And what do you think of the plans for Ashville Heights? So we're back at the Sticker Man's house. We're filming for another video that we're doing. But just being back at the Sticker Man's house reminds me of the long journey that we went on and how we were able to create his, would you say dream home?
Yes, I would say dream home. Shout out Ashville.
Yeah, we were able to create his dream home. So let's take a look at that now, at that journey all the way from the first day when Yanni handed over the keys. Keys, please. Guys, are we ready to work? Yeah. Someone just smashed a hole in this wall. This house definitely now feels like a home. Looking at that little montage that we put together for you, imagine this was just a pile of mud at one point, and now we have young LOUISY here, the only dog in the world that plays with aggregates and type 1. Look at this. Bit of decorative gravel. You ready?
Made him jump on me in that.
Ain't that great? A dog that plays with aggregate. Again, test 2. Who catches a rock?
LOUISY does.
All right, that's it for here. We got to get started. We're filming. We are on a tight schedule. We don't have the sticker man for long, so we're going to get on with it. So what is underfloor? So what is home automation? This isn't easier with you standing around waiting for me doing stuff like that. As a smart home, this is the ability to and even kitchen appliances. Yes!
I'm back in the yard. If you've been following our journey, you would have heard me talk for almost a year about the problems we're having with internet and the problems we're having BT. So we ran the internet cables ourselves, and finally, I believed that all the problems were solved because we had fiber. 1,000 up, 1,000 down. Well, guess what? Not for the first time. I'm wrong. I've come back to the yard, and everyone in the yard has had no internet since this morning. And they are all working off hotspots on their phone, which means that all the systems we have in place, we can't get onto them either. Luckily, Wilson has managed to do a quick fix. Get this for going back with your tail between your legs. With our old internet system from downstairs in the video office, Will has reconnected it and somehow it's still on, which probably means I forgot to cancel the direct debit and they're still taking my money. And now upstairs has internet and they haven't had internet for the whole day. There I was believing I solved the problem. In other news, I've seen a few of you asking why we aren't doing international shipping. The reason we're not doing international shipping at the moment is because we've just restarted, and previously with the international shipping, we had a number of problems with items being held at customs. So people's jumpers were being held and they were getting lost. And with the previous distribution company, they were sending the wrong sizes to different countries, then we had to pay to bring them back. It was just a complete mess. So possibly it's going to be something that we're going to work on. Let us just find our feet with the current deliveries which are going out, and then we're going to put some time into it and think about the best way to start doing international shipping.
Ground floor, long dowels between existing, break up existing RC structure, install beams, ground over slab.
So we want the existing and proposed sections and the elevations, yeah?
Daniel.
Samuel?
Yes, sir.
I have this structural engineer asking me if we can send him the existing and proposed sections and elevations.
Okay, I'll send these out this week.
David, make a note of this, please. Go back to him and tell him that we're working on those drawings now.
Yes.
This request here, yeah? Provide me with more accurate drawings. Say at this stage, this stage, we're not doing building control or construction level drawings because your plans may change them. In this area here, if we can build this out of timber, we can build this ourselves as much as we can. If we're going to make this out of steel, then we're going to have to get someone else in. That's going to, no. So if
Timber might be more expensive soon than steel.
That's the truth. Yeah, timber may well be more expensive than steel.
Have you got a bit of time to talk about bathrooms?
Yeah.
Installation costs?
Yeah.
So
Touchscreen, yeah.
yeah, I love it. That's a good move what you did with this.
Yeah, I bought this. Yeah. Yeah, nice.
No, I did it myself. I invested, you know what I mean? So I've divided by bathroom. It's simple tiling, sanctuary installation. So sanctuary is nearly done. You just need to choose 2 shower heads and that's it. And the tile which she's chosen is pink tile. I've tried to match with porcelain, which would be cheaper, but it's not the same.
Okay.
I mean,
I know there's one thing worse than giving someone something expensive that's giving them what they don't want.
exactly. So
If it's what they don't want, then
I tried to push something, but then I realised when
you tried to push it to make it cheaper, but then when it backfires and they don't like any of it, and we have to pull it out.
Getting
And
some samples which they will say, oh, that's not great.
send that on and find out what this man wants.
Okay.
All right.
My pen, please.
Oh.
You've got your expensive pen.
Be careful when you give me a pen or a tape measure, because you might not get it back. We had the structural plans come through from the project where you saw us do the boreholes and do the exploratory works, but the engineer, he's asking us more questions, but he's asking if we have more detailed drawings. And I'm saying,
How do I give you a more detailed drawing, construction drawings or building control drawings, if your structural plans could change what the plans are going to be? Because if he turns around and says to me, we need a cantilevering steel frame running from side to side, what's going to be 50 grand, and I say, hold on a minute, can I just put a pillar here and get rid of all that? He goes, yeah, if you put a pillar there, then the steel work's going to cost 5 grand, not 50. Then of course the plans are going to change. So David's going to give him a phone call and ask him exactly what it is he needs, and possibly if I get on the phone as well and have a chat, maybe we can give him as much information as we physically can at this time. We still don't have any internet yet. It is 4:34 p.m. A lot of the drivers are beginning to get back. It's been a busy day all round. I'm so behind on emails, and I'm going to sit here until I catch up. But that'll be it for Monday. It's Tuesday. I'm in the yard. It's a decent day. The sun is shining, and it's not too windy. My gauge for wind isn't to watch the weather, it's to look up at the Ashville flag and see how much movement there is. I've been in meetings all day. It's 3:26. Now I'm going to start catching up with my emails. We moved the 40-yard bin out of the way, which was a bit of an ordeal. And we were going to start on the 20-yard bin, the one you saw us buy a while ago, but we had to do a bit of work on the sweeper, and now the sweeper is on the road giving it a clean. It's been a long day already, and it's very early, and it's not nearly over. And my phone is ringing, so I'm going to have to get this and catch you tomorrow. Hello. Oh. Hello. It's Wednesday, and I'm on the way to the yard. This morning I went to the dentist. When I went to the dentist, I was pleasantly surprised. They got this screen above, and it was more of this wildlife stuff. You know, I'm trying to go down this Daniel Attenborough route of filming with wildlife as well. So it's quite interesting for me sitting there watching the wildlife, and I think it's the bird of paradise bopping around and singing a song and all that stuff it was doing.
You're my man, and now you're in a very dangerous position.
Just having a couple of conversations, going to share something with you. Here's some gold dust for you. With Ashville, as you can see, I'm always pushing forward, but surviving and making a living, unfortunately, is not good enough for me. I want things to grow exponentially, continually, even though it crushes me sometimes with stress and anxiety and turmoil. However, I want Ashville to grow, so I've decided, and I decided this a while ago, this is the first time I'm sharing it, that I want the company to be national. Yes, I want Ashville to be national, and I'm going to be transparent, because I like to level with you, that it's not something that we have the resources to do. So at the moment we're seeking funding, but in order to seek this funding, we need to create a deck which says stuff about the company, what the company do, the journey the company's been on thus far, the financials of the company, what we've been doing, what we want to do, and we combine everything into a small pack to present to potential funders. There's two ways of doing it. They could do it as debt, like they just give you the money and then they get their money back as debt, or they could take equity, which means they could take shares in the company, and then they may have a 3 or 5 or 8 or 10-year plan, depending on what you agree with them and depending on how large scale yours and their plans are. So that's something I'm working on at the moment, as well as the normal stuff we're doing. We're doing a little bit of work on the baby grab in the yard, putting it together now. I need to race back to the yard as quickly as I can, obviously abiding by all speed laws. It's 10:57 and I'm meeting Mike at GB Rail Freight in the yard with one of his friends. So let's get back there and see what's happening. How we doing, Mike? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Not bad?
How's your holiday?
Seems like a lifetime ago, mate. You all right?
Yeah, living the dream. Sam.
Good to meet you, all right?
Sam, you all right?
Yeah, very
How's
well,
things?
thank you. Very
You
well.
got presents in that bag, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we'd have a merch off.
Oh, a merch off, yeah? You might win. I've got 9 left.
I got the radio.
So what we use at the moment?
Yeah, the Motorola. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we use at
So
the
they're
moment.
like 446.
What does that mean?
License free. It's license free, so it means that anyone can listen to what you're saying.
Okay.
And you'll only be able to hear around the yard.
Okay.
So what I said to Ara is that we've got these, that works through the 3G, 4G network.
Really? Hold that side. How'd you feel with that?
So it's good.
Put it in your tracksuit, see if it pulls your trousers down. Is it too heavy? Is it all right? Where would these go? Who would people in the yard or people in lorries?
Lorries and in the yard.
Can you text them?
You send messages, free
Yeah.
text. So we've got a dispatcher that you just got to log in. So I've set a login up for you.
Yeah.
So that what you can do is you can send a free text message to either a radio.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
It's them not pressing the buttons. Lad, stop pressing the buttons, please, yeah?
So for example, if Terry wanted to just talk to you, Simon, on the weighbridge, he could just talk to you and no one else would hear it.
Hello, it's Daniel on the radio. Stop doing that. Let's just say this is a radio system in the lorry.
Yep.
If someone takes it and speaks on it, is that not like using a phone when you're driving?
It's not illegal with a radio. With a phone, it's illegal. But
So,
with a
so
radio,
it's not illegal for a driver to take it and speak into
because
it?
No, because what we would do, we would do a mic.
A mic?
A speaker microphone.
Yeah.
So the radio sits in here.
Like the old taxi, POB, passenger
it.
on board.
You got it.
So this is what goes in the lorries.
Yeah.
What's the record button for?
So you can record all the time on the dispatcher. It's recording what everybody says to them.
So when 19 ton goes on the lorry,
Yeah.
and then Simon turns around and goes, "You said 19 ton," and someone says,
No, I never. I said I want 15 ton.
Got it.
and Simon can play it back and say,
Exactly right.
"There you go, mate.
Yeah,
You said
yeah.
you wanted that."
Exactly.
How'd you feel about that, Si?
And so you can have situations. So for instance, that's the boss.
The boss, okay.
So
The boss, yeah. When I
radio
find him, I'll let you know.
Yep. So if you press the PTT, you can see that it tells you who's calling you.
Okay, it sees who's calling you. Okay, fine. If I'm walking through the yard
Yep.
and I just manage to drop this, and when I go to pick it up, I kick it across the yard by accident, how does that hold up?
Okay. So this is a cast alley chassis.
Okay.
It's waterproof to 1 metre for 30 minutes.
It's waterproof to 1 metre.
For 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's totally submersible.
So if Simon drops this in his coffee and forgets, we'll be all right, yeah?
You got it.
Yeah, that's it.
If somebody in here does something silly and they run over this in a machine,
Yep.
how much does it cost me to replace it?
Retail price is £385.
Oh, wow!
Right.
So I can assign these to give a name, and if someone loses their radio,
Then they-
that's your own business. You shouldn't have lost the radio.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I could just keep this with me at all times. Even when I'm not in the yard, I could just hear what's going
It
on.
means that Wilson or Terry
Mm-hmm.
or any of the boys can get hold of you rather than on the phone.
Yeah, I don't know about
and,
that.
And also but also you can hear what everybody's saying and what's going on.
Security guards have got these on for EK on HS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've got a lot of protesters and what have you there.
Yeah.
So they've got the
Protesters, click here to watch that video. Right, we're going to go up to the office for further discussions. Do you remember this man? It's when I learnt to drive a train. Click here to watch that video, train simulator video. Wilson, let me give you this, yeah? And take my DJI out the car, yeah? I'll see you in a bit. I have some unfortunate news. I'm trying to plan ahead because on the 29th of March, in 2 weeks, Tezo will not be with us because he is going for a personality amputation. Now, he's been on the list for a long time and they've managed to find a donor to give Terry a new personality. So we hope it goes well. And when Terry comes back, hopefully he'll be a new and changed man. What do you think about that, Tel? Now, in all seriousness, Terry's going for a hip replacement. So Terry will not be with us. In a small firm like this, everyone's important. And I do tease him a bit, but Terry is very valuable to us. And the fact that he won't be here means that I'm going to have to do what he's doing. Obviously, man could do that in his sleep, innit? But I'm going to have to cover and do what Terry's doing. Terry even does things like jumps in a shovel and helps. Now, obviously, I can do all the machines. And obviously, Terry ain't better on a machine than me, but I'm a bit rusty. So I'm going to have to stay back after school, and I'm going to have to... Bro, what are you pulling? Untie it in your face, man. Look at his face. Untie it in your face.
Flashback of this on the 30th of March when Daniel's
So
moved into the side of a tipper.
So I'm going to stay behind after work and give it a bit of practice. You know, in a small firm like this, it's all hands on deck. How long are you going to be off for with a hip replacement? 3 days? 4 days?
Yeah, at least.
Terry reckons 2 weeks, but hopefully he'll be back sooner. But I've always told Terry that if he wants to bring Cora here, we can do daycare. We'll fill up the gym full of those little plastic balls and we can just leave her in there. Like, you know, like Maggie in The Simpsons, and just pop up her hair every now and then.
Right, okay.
And Terry, you can come here, bear that in mind. Yeah, so I need to practice my skills later today. Bro, do you know how an inconvenience it is for me that you're going off, bro? Do you know how inconvenient that is? Bro, you're a selfish bro, man. You only think about yourself.
So now, he spent the last 2 years, I've been in now 3 years this year,
How long is the, what are we now, week 76?
Yeah.
So for the last 74 weeks, he's been telling the whole world that I do nothing at work.
He's not serious. Wait, where are you going? You got 15 minutes left of work. Terry! Bro, don't you have nothing to do?
Yeah, I do. I've got to make sure the drivers are out working.
What, me, yeah? Terry ain't in for 5 days. He's ducking mans. Terry's nana. Do you know what she said to Terry? Every time I watch these videos, you're sitting there doing nothing. I've heard that it's a Tezza thing where Tezzas are always skiving at work. He is skiving, and I have no evidence to support that claim, but that is the story that I'm going with.
And now here it is. I'm going to be off for a couple of weeks. I look at him flapping at the thought of it.
No.
I'm not even off yet.
No. Man can never be flapping. I can never be scared. I'm just saying that it's. I'm just saying that it's inconvenient. But obviously, I can handle it. I need to take this. Here I am in the merch container. And speaking of merch, remember that word, because it's going to be a reoccurring theme. People have been making comments on the video saying that the Ashville hoodies are expensive at £60. Now, I understand £60 being expensive because there are some brands that take some £2.99 t-shirt and some market jumper and they just print something on the front of it, and it, after a few washes, it comes out and they put it in the wash and it shrinks from an extra large to a medium, which is extra small to medium. I understand that, but this isn't that. Perhaps it's my fault that I positioned it in your minds like that by calling it merch. Had I called it the Ashville clothing brand, you may have looked at it a bit different. But for me, the quality of these is second to none. I would wear these hoodies even if they didn't say Ashville on them, and they're not cheap. We don't make a lot of money on them. All this printing is 3D vinyl, and these are bespoke, which means each size, the Ashville writing is completely different. Click here to watch a video where I was measuring all of this up, and we only made 1,000, and these could be collectors, and they have nearly run out. So try and get yours soon. But thank you to everyone who has purchased one. Thank you to everyone who's bought just any merch at all. And I just wanted to point that out to you guys, that it is not just some slap bang dead piece of garmentry. This is a great top. It's great quality. A couple of people got the wrong sizes. Me, myself, I got the wrong size. I thought I was a size smaller, but true to say I'm a little bit bigger than I was last year. So yes, guys, loving the Ashville clothing brand. So it's 5 to 5. Most of the lorries are parked up and the driver's gone home. There's still some people in the office, but I'm going to try to re-familiarize myself with this loading shovel. So turn it. Yeah, I can hear the aircon kicking in. Nice. All right. Engine started. Let's take off our parking brake and flick it into reverse. Now what I'm going to do is just play around a little bit while the yard is quiet. So I'm just going to drive into the pile, pick up material. So put the bucket down, try to get it at a decent angle, turn it back up this way a bit, flick it, we'll go forward. A bit too close to the floor. There we go. Right. Got a bucket on there. Let's lift that bucket in the air. Let's reverse backwards. Tip that bucket, see how much we've got on. So I'm doing something wrong. Flip it back into reverse. Back in drive, bucket goes down. Tilt the bucket a little bit towards me. Give it a bit of power. How much have I got in the bucket? Much better. I'm getting it slowly, so I'm going to hang around for a bit and do it, just so when it does actually happen, if I'm called upon, I can actually help out. I remember a time, a very long time ago, in weekly episode 16, I believe it was, that I was by myself in the yard in lockdown, and I had to try and do as much as I can. I had 5 phones in front of me, and all the drivers were coming up to the weighbridge, and I was just slotting tickets through. Fortunately, at that time, it was just me and Flo here. None of the office staff were in, and we managed to cope. Now, I don't want that to happen again, but I have to prepare for the worst and wish for the best. And that's it for today. It's Friday. No, it's not. It's Thursday. And I'm on the way to the yard. On the road again. Had a meeting in town. Now I'm heading back to the yard. I'm going back to back on phone calls, but I just thought I'd take a quick break and just download a little bit and let you know what's going on. Last Saturday, I believe it was, I told you about 2 companies that went under, and one of them owed us about 50k. Well, I was wrong. I double checked with accounts and it was a lot more than that, which is a bit of a problem, because now I'm trying to get hold of people in that company and they're going into administration, and there are going to be a lot of people trying to get their money out of this company, and Ashville will not be at the head of the table. We will not be getting to eat first. So it's very worrying, and it sets us back again. It puts us in another difficult position. Firstly, you fight to build your company. Then you fight to put the infrastructure in place while you battle cash flow. Because putting money into your business, if it's not coming from elsewhere, you need to get your own money. So basically, the money you make on top of paying your expenses, what would have been your profit, you invest that back into your business to grow your business, because you want to create a machine that can service the work that you want to do. Then you need to find and get staff on board. If you've got some good staff, you can battle your way through as long as you have a great team. And then you need to find people to do the smaller jobs around. And when you've got all of that in place, then you've got to battle with compliance. You got to get everything right. So you've done all that. Now you've got to go out and get the work. Because we don't have anyone in sales at the moment, I'm the one battling to go out and get the work. All right, cool. Now you've got the work. Then you double check your infrastructure. Do you have the infrastructure in place? You might need to do a little bit more. Then you're doing the work. Then you have to make sure you don't upset the people while you're doing the work. So you're doing the work, don't be late. Make sure 2 drivers didn't turn up today. We're dropping loads. Can we catch up with the loads on Saturday? Then you do all of that. Now it used to be before, then you have to fight to get paid on time. Because think about the cost associated with it. So we are not a quarry, we bring material in. So if I bring material in, I've paid for it. Now I've delivered it. Now the people that want the money for that material, they want their money on 30 days. They are not interested in my problems. So that happens 30 days, but now I have to battle to get paid on time. But now there's a new battle, and that's to get paid at all. So if you think about the amount of material that I could have put into this job, or the amount of in out, I now have to pay for that. I have to pay the drivers, I have to pay the finance on the lorries, we have to pay the diesel, we have to pay the insurance, we have to pay for everything. And now that money ain't coming back in. Now I told you yesterday I'm looking for funding to make Ashville national and to grow the business. But at the same time as I'm trying to do that, I've got one eye trying to fix the problem that we've got here. It's double-sided. It's very difficult to look this far in front when you've got problems here right in front of your face. However, if you only look that far ahead, there could be a hole right in front of you that you're going to fall in. And it looks like that's what's happened to us. Again, and this ain't the first time this has happened. It makes a mockery out of getting up in the morning. You do all of this work and you work hard and you do all of these things and you make it all happen. Then you don't get paid anyway. Then you move into survival mode. How do you define success? So you did the work, you moved the company, your revenue went up, your profit went up, you invested in the company. That's how you're measuring how well you're doing. Organically, if you can grow your company by 20% every year without outside investment, like that is good, like you're doing well. But now you move back into survival mode. So now you have to change your thinking. Well, this year we got knocked for this much money, and this year we got knocked for this much money. And then that entire year, you could just turn around and say, well, actually we were successful because we survived. It's just long, man. Just sometimes it just makes it pointless. Like, why? What was the point in doing it all? I'm not complaining, because this is based on the decisions that I made and the path that I chose to go on. I'm just sharing, because I know a lot of you are entrepreneurs. You start your own businesses and you got companies at different levels. Now those companies, people who we owe money to, they're going to get their money, but they want their money on time, just like we do. So with a company of this size and in this industry, which is very cliquey, you know a lot of the owners of other companies. So the first port of call is their accounts department to call your accounts department. Then if they don't get paid on time, the owner of the company is calling me. And we're going to have a conversation and we'll say, look, do you know what? They went skint, mate. Like, we got knocked for X amount. Like, we're having a little bit of trouble here. We'll get through it, but you'll get your money on X. And it's like, all right, cool. I understand what it's like. I have the same problem. But that can't keep happening. Because as much as everybody's friends and everybody knows everybody, at the end of the day, people have got their own expenses. If you're at larger companies, like larger establishments, like companies on the stock exchange and the majors in this industry, you can't call the MD and talk rubbish to him about money. You can't call him and say that because you never open their account for that MD. So all you can really do is call your contact in that company. This morning when I was eating my breakfast, 6 egg whites, 2 yellows in there, not 1 yellow, I've gone up to 2 yellows. I was watching a couple of things on YouTube, like a couple of those motivational things, and I was listening to it, and he was saying, when you get in trouble, you got to grind. You got to grind. What nonsense is that? That doesn't work in real life. No problem. If you're a sportsman and you're training for a boxing match coming up, by the way, Dan Aziz, you saw him in the past, he's fighting next Saturday, British champion. Of course I'm going. That works if you're doing sports or you're trying to work on your fitness or you're trying to lose weight. That works. In a situation like this, grinding and doing these things, they don't work. There's multiple strategies across multiple levels that you have to try, and you have to try to exercise your plan at the right time. Me personally, I don't feel that there's a blueprint or anything I can follow for what I'm going through at the moment. I do not believe that. I'm just basically making it up as I go along and trying to manage everything as best I can. Here's the way I see it. Whatever is giving me the most anxiety, that is what I have to face head on. If I know we are coming to a pinch point at the end of the week and I know my phone's going to be ringing, I am calling that person before they call me. Look, you are expecting this on Friday for this or that reason. I'm sorry, like it's not going to happen for this reason, but you will get it. And if you want, I'll come to the yard and you can kick me around the yard for a couple of hours if that makes you feel better. Obviously, I ain't going to say that. And obviously, they couldn't do that anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Well, that was a bit of a rant, wasn't it? So I'm on the way to the yard. I've got to stay there for a little bit. Then I'm leaving. I'm going to a meeting at 11 o'clock where I'm looking at a property with someone. Then I'm going to get back in front of my desk and I'm going to try to navigate my way through this. And the train that was meant to come today of Type 1 has been cancelled because the driver was ill and he didn't turn up. So now the train isn't coming as well, which is just perfect. It's perfect. That's great. First of all, start on a good note, happy St Patrick's Day to all. Happy St Patrick's Day, man. It's a great day. There's loads of green and white and orange on a lot of the houses around here and outside a lot of the local establishments. Now on to my news, which isn't going well. So I had a little rant earlier, got it off my chest. Thank you all for listening. And I've got another problem. So, thou giveth and thou taketh. I've told you that in the past. So get this. So we have 5 volumetrics out working. So you might think that's great. Yeah, all 5 lorries are out working. No, that is not great because our cement delivery for tomorrow got cancelled. Our cement delivery got cancelled at 2 p.m. So all the lorries have enough cement to leave the yard, but by 2 o'clock, we're gonna run out of cement. Now, I've made a couple of calls to see if we can get cement elsewhere. And of course, in your time of need, the price is up significantly. Price is dictated by demand. And again, you think, yes, they've got the 5 concrete lorries out, they're all working. No, because we got 4 tippers parked up, because there's still not all the lorries being out. And we got 4 tippers parked up because we're short of drivers. Now, we were meant to have 2 drivers starting this week, which did start. So the new drivers started. One of them quit after 1 day and said he doesn't like the idea of getting paid every 2 weeks. Now, when he applied for the job, he was told it was every 2 weeks, but after 1 day, he decided that he can't wait every 2 weeks. And the other driver never turned up. So he was meant to come in, he asked for a chance, he asked to work, he asked for a job, never turned up, never said a word. So that obviously went well, or he found a much better job where the grass was a lot greener. I'm now going to do a watch through of episode 75 and I'm going to have to keep stopping and really annoying everyone down there because I need to make sure that we have got cement for tomorrow. Otherwise, there's no point of everything. Otherwise, there's no point of anything. There's no point of everything. But I will do tomorrow. I'm going to take you down to QPR because it hasn't been an action-packed week this week, but I can only film what we're doing. But I completely forgot that we're doing a bit of work down at QPR. So we're going to go down to QPR tomorrow morning and show you the work that's going on there. For the last 2 days, we have been updating all our prices. But when I was updating all the prices, I completely forgot that on aggregatesupplier.com, plug. scroll it, and do all that stuff you do to it. On aggregatesupply.com, Wilson and I have been working with Excel spreadsheets to update the prices there. So we updated the price list when you call up and ask for something that we send to people, but actually there's formulas within aggregatesupply.com of discounts as you buy more and more and more, economies of scale. So we've been entering that data over the past 2 days, and I've taken a couple of materials off the site because they're very difficult to get, and now I believe it's up to date and ready to go, and I have to go and do a watch through in the hours. As promised, Friday morning, and I'm not in the yard, I'm at QPR Stadium. These are the QPR offices. And now we're doing a little job here, not a massive job, but it's very important to the staff at QPR. So let's take a look at it. So we're working behind this small partition that we built up to keep the dust away. It doesn't help with the noise, but it's generally a very noisy office because there's a lot of phones going. This is going to be a staff canteen area. Now, I can show you a little image here of what the area used to look like, but it was a lot smaller. So here we had a kitchen and we had men and women's toilets. So that was the men's, and there were 2 women's cubicles there. So the space was very cramped. So we've taken out the kitchen, we've taken out all the toilets, we've taken out all the dividing walls. We pulled down all the walls, we removed all the flooring, we've completely stripped it, and we stripped out all the electrics. When we stripped it all out, we could see that this was just patch-up work for many years. Because of how busy it is here and the small space, every time they had a new light, it was an add-on and an add-on and an add-on and an add-on. So what we've done is strip it all. Luckily for us, there's a fuse board on the other side of this wall. So we're running all new electrics here. So at the moment now, we're preparing this wall for plasterboard, and we've already put plasterboard on this wall. So we have 2 rads in the space. This rad is completely coming out of here, and that rad, we're gonna put a bigger one, which is 120 centimeters, but it's gonna be a double. So by removing that, we'll double up over here, and it should keep the area warm. We're gonna have a suspended ceiling system in here with LED lights, much larger kitchen in this area, and we're gonna have a table here where the staff can sit and eat. This is going to be a great usable space, and it's going to make the staff here a lot happier. They can't use the toilet here anymore. They're going to use the toilet somewhere else, but this is something that the staff have wanted for a while. As I said, it's not a very big job, but we're working within a confined space. There's loads of little jobs that have to be done here. Now, boxing in this steel. Now, you might ask why everything's so cramped here. It's because in the stadium, there are multiple layers above us, and we have to try and use every single inch we have in here. So, enough said, let's crack on with the work. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
People telling me that I'm on TV.
Yes. I did tell you, a couple of people watch it. Don't worry, I got your good side.
Yeah, okay, good,
Yeah.
good. Hopefully I was, like that say.
The purpose of this Zoom is just so it's a lot quicker to have a half an hour conversation and send emails for 2 weeks. And I have the client kind of pushing me for me to price the job accurately and to make a start.
Is it possible to actually put those drawings up on the screen and then we'll Sure.
Whoa, what's happened there?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, let's continue then. I'll share my screen. Let me give you permission to do that. Yep, go for it. You need to move the sun, Daniel.
You move the sun or close the window? I can't actually move the sun. I can try to move the sun, but I'm not sure it would work.
A good meeting. It went very well. It was quite long, just 3 minutes off being an hour. We were going through the plans for the project I showed you when we were doing the boreholes and exposing parts of the structure. Just a few conversations there between architect and structural engineer, and I had to put in my 2 pence worth, but it went really well. Thankfully, my mate Brendan Mitchell has helped me out, and we now have cement because we were in a bit of trouble there. So now we have cement so we can work tomorrow also. I've got plenty of work to do. I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Friday evening at 8:54. I've just left the yard. I'm just making my way home now. I was meant to go gym, but now again, it's too late to go gym. That's another day I haven't been able to train. I had a conversation earlier with accounts and we were going over some figures. And I said, well, just show me what we're owed and what we owe out. And I did the same for Ashville Aggregates and Ashville Concrete, and I saw some figures, and I'm not gonna lie, I fully panicked. I was like, what is going on? Like, no, something ain't right. I know we ain't flat out busy, but something's not right here. Like, the numbers are no longer adding up. I waited till everyone left and I spent some time looking at those Excel spreadsheets. So I went into the spreadsheets and I removed things which I believe were mistakes. Because we've just moved over to the new system, there are items in there like aged money that we're never going to get. But then there's other mistakes on what we owe out. So I began to correct all of them on both spreadsheets for aggregates and concrete. And the longer I spent doing it, the more it made sense. I won't say the better it got, but the more it normalized. So when I had done that, I'd say, right, this is the figure. All right, here's the figure, the bottom line. So then I have to consider wages, I have to consider rent. So I added back in rent for that period, had to add in business rates. Then I had to consider the amount of stock we've got in the yard, what is the value of that stock, what bills we may get this week. And then everything began to make a little more sense. It's not perfect, what was there, but it made a lot more sense. But I fully hit the panic button and thought, no way am I going anywhere until I work this out. I don't know what's going to happen on Monday morning if I check this and it is what I think it is, but it wasn't. So I'm on the way home, back in the yard tomorrow morning. I've now had news that there are no trains at all next week either. So once again, it's just perfect and things keep getting better. See you in the morning.
Saturday morning, I'm still at home in my dressing gown. I couldn't sleep. I was up at about 4:30, so I came into my home office and I started working. It was a bit of a breath of fresh air because I didn't have any distractions and I was able to think clearly. You see me a lot surrounded by people. I'm always with people in the day, we're interacting, we're working, but each person I'm talking to, there's something that I'm working on with them and they may know of a problem. Now there could be 10 or 15 people like that and I have a problem I'm trying to resolve with all of those people and they think that one problem is a big deal. So more often than not, when you see me around people, I'm actually on my own. Don't dare play that violin edit team, I'm not crying about it. What I'm saying is sometimes I feel like I've got no one to bounce certain things off. So I made a couple of calls this morning nice and early, people are up. I spoke to Yanni, I spoke to Andrew Southern, I spoke to my mate Jonathan, I spoke to my mate Paul, who you've seen in the past, and I spoke to Tunde, and I spoke to my management and creative team. And it's good to just bounce ideas off some people. Now, some people complained as much as I did, which was also quite fun because I know I'm not alone, as Michael O'Donovan always does. But others just kind of reminded me how far we've come, like I didn't know already. But when you're stuck in a situation, sometimes it's hard to see past that. I feel a lot more positive now, and I need to spend my time focusing on how to resolve issues as opposed to allowing issues to completely consume me
and start worrying and knee-jerk reactions. Any decision you make under pressure is generally not the best decision you could have made. And so I have to give myself a bit of a slap and just say, come on, like, pull it together. Now, this morning I decided there's some bits which have been outstanding, which I needed to work on, but I decided I'm gonna work on something which I wanna work on, which I find exciting, which I told you about earlier in the week. So I'm looking at a couple of plots of land in St Lucia, and I've made myself a little spreadsheet where I break down all the different currencies so I can make an informed decision based on everything compared equally. So some people are selling in acres, some people are selling in square foot. So in the document, I'll put everything listed out and calculated everything into Eastern Caribbean dollars, US dollars, and pound sterling. And it's quite exciting. I'm actually just looking at the land at the moment. I'll think about the design of the house when I've got past that point. It's 9:15. I've nearly done a day's work already. I'm gonna even treat myself and sit down and have some breakfast. Maybe I'll do some foolishness with some avocado and some chili flakes and salt and pepper and olive oil. You know, I really treat myself this morning. Have a shower, get dressed, go into work and see what's happening in the yard.
It's 1:44, I'm in the yard. Just had a quick overview of episode 75, Friday's mid-edit, doing some of Ara's changes. In the yard, the boys are greasing, filling lorries with diesel, loading material onto lorries, the usual stuff, just getting ready for Monday. It's not especially busy in the yard. I think this is going to be the last bit of filming I do for the day. I've got some emails I want to do, and I want to try and get onto the system while no one's here and do a bit of work.
So Sunday morning, 7 a.m, I'm in my car park, ready to go. Now to make a plan for the day, today is going to be back to back. Now all week I've been complaining that I didn't get a chance to train, so I said Sunday morning, no matter what, I'm going to train, and I'm going to do the hardest body part, legs. So I'm going to try and get that done early. Just got one bag with me, with my gym kit. I've got another bag to get dressed to go QPR, and then after that I'm going to go and meet Andrew Southern, and then come back and try and get all the stuff that's outstanding from the week done. So it's going to be a busy day. I think I'm ready to go. I think I'll get everything I need. Let's see how we get on. So I washed my car yesterday, so it's fresh, nice. And I'm gonna try and see what I can do with this day. It's a great day, the sun is shining. I'm gonna try and make it happen, make use of this day so I can start Monday positively and in the yard. That's the plan anyway. Right, so the first part of the plan is done. I kept my parking space at the gym, managed to have a shower. You know when you get out of the shower and you're sweating the same way as you were before you got in the shower? I just walked around to the stadium now. Thought I wouldn't jump in the car because of the traffic and the road closures. So far so good. It is 5:21. I'm on the move, I'm on the M4. I'm heading over to see Andrew. Not a great result at QPR, but I must say I was entertained. But not by what happened on the pitch, by Jude the Cat. Jude's got some moves. We're playing a couple tunes in there, so Jude popped in to shake a leg. Today's going well, it's on track. I haven't eaten, so I'm going to eat with Andrew while we try to map out exactly what we're doing. Sun's still up, it's a nice day. I really need to get all of this done. Oh no, standstill traffic. Oh no, I have to go on the 25 as well. No, man. Oh, standstill traffic. Now I'm going to be running even later, but I need to get this done today so I can start the week fresh. Let's do it. Andrew and I have just sat down to have a chat, brainstorming. Andrew's leading the way because he's more experienced than what we're doing here. We're looking at something which is already done, and we're thinking of the strengths in the business and how we're going to put them down on paper, but how we're going to get to the point quickly, because I tend to waffle sometimes. So it's good to bounce his ideas, especially off Andrew, who's been doing this for a lot longer than I have and at a much higher level. As you can see by the £100 million student development. Click here to watch that video. Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
No, it's cool. I mean, have your fish and chips. But yeah, I think this is quite straightforward. I mean, I think to do a mission statement for you, to get the focus for Ashville is quite easy. As I say, to recalibrate from, where you came from with the build to, getting the haulage piece, making your cash flow positive, I think is definitely the way to go. You've got lots of images, lots we can discuss. Who are we? What your core values are? They're relatively straightforward. What your track record is. I mean, how long has Ashville been going now?
Since 2006, the build side of things.
Yeah, so that's with 16 years, which is very, very similar to what we're looking at here. Client-centric, your approach. I think your skills are second to none. I mean, we know all about that. I think on this section, we should very much focus around your social media presence and who you are, because I think that's ultimately what the business is, it's about you.
So you think we should talk about that also in it as part of it?
Definitely in this section here, right? I think that would work well, and then that flows on to the, liking you to Eddie Stobart and selling the merchandise.
Yeah.
So I think that flows because it's just this is a very different business plan. Your track record, which obviously I've been involved with, that's dead easy. Your relationships, very easy, and then the real focus that needs to be, I think, going forward, the team, the supporting team.
Would we put much emphasis on that team bit, or?
Yeah, I think what we do is focus on you and your existing team, but where we need to bolster the team.
Okay.
I think that's an opportunity for the person coming in. Press coverage. I mean, you've got more than that section there for you. Keep it simple.
I think we're pretty comfortable in that.
Come on, have your fish and chips.
All right, fine.
But no, I think honestly, mate, this is relatively easy.
A Sunday used well. I'm tired. It's nearly 9 o'clock. I'm just not worried, but I didn't have a day this week, or like half a day. I normally have half a day where I can try to not think about work and try to just reboot so I'm fresh for the week ahead. But what I've done needed to be done. It was essential. So I'm happy I managed to plan and use my day effectively. And that's it for Ashville Weekly, episode 76. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see an Ashville video that you may not have seen before. And click here for last week's episode, which was number 75. Hopefully I got that right, because I can't reshoot this.